Well, we know in life that you always want to know what everybody makes. And I always say, stay your lane, do your own deal. Don't pay attention to everybody else. But workers that work next to each other, we always say, when you're working, right, don't you always wonder what your fellow worker is making? Is he making more money than me? Because if he is, that's not right. And that, my friends, is where unions started. Unions, right? I got money for the end of my life. I got insurance and I got it going on. So that is where we're going today. Today, we're going to tell you what everybody makes in racing. Now, here's the disclaimer. I control my own life. I write my own checks. I have investors. I have CPAs and accountants. So the Herminator, although I seem a little silly at times, I control my own money. I control my own destiny. And yes, sometimes we put ourselves in position, right? You got to go out and do. You can't sit at home on the couch. You got to go out and do. Put yourself in position to live the very best life you can. Remember when we were kids? I haven't heard of marbles in ages. Marbles. You have 100 marbles, and there's that one kid that wants all the marbles. It's like, Jesus, can I have 1 or 2 marbles? That's life. There's 100 marbles, and everybody wants the most marbles. So we can do what is so addicting in life. Run these old race cars. Today, we are going to de-bullshit money in racing. I'm going to do that for you. Because a lot of you, although I love you, you don't have a clue. All right. Number 1. Come here, Charlie. It's called show and tell. All right. You see all these sponsors? Every one of these sponsors. We're going to go all the way down here. All these people. All these decals. Every single one of these decals. I mean all of them. Every one. Okay? Without those people, I am not racing. Okay? That's number 1. If you're going to race, you have to find a sponsor. All right? You might have a car owner. So when we race, there's only one division. I'm de-bullshitting this right now. There's only one division where you can make a living. It's the NASCAR Cup Series. The NASCAR logo. Cup, Xfinity truck. That's it. Okay? That's the only area that you're going to make a living. And that's called making it to the big time. If you make it to Major League Baseball, you make it to the NFL, that means you made it. Okay? But you are not going to make a living running the World of Outlaw sprint cars, World of Outlaw late models, Lucas Oil late models. Okay? You have to have sponsors or a wealthy car owner. The end. Now, it's time to tell you all some numbers. Once again, the Herminator got notes. So now we know we're going to start with dirt cars right away. There are racetracks that can make you or break you. So we're going to put the big ones, we're going to take the granddaddies and we're going to put them over here. We're not going to pay attention to Eldora. We're not going to pay attention to Knoxville. We're going to pay attention to the grinding in the middle of race season. So we're going to go with the World of Outlaw late models. Now, we know for a fact, if you win a World of Outlaw late model race, $10,000, all right? $10,000 to win a normal World of Outlaw late model race. Dirt super late model race. We know that. And we know that most drivers get, let's say, 30%. 35. Let's go with 35. Times 35% equal $3,500. Your driver, oh my God, he's the greatest driver of all time. Bobby Pierce won $10,000. Oh, that's what he got. Okay, now I know that's a family-run company, but if you're Nick Hoffman, if you're Jonathan Davenport, we're going to shoot at 35%, okay? Because we know that's middle of the road. We know that If you don't do anything and you just show up and drive the car, you're going to make 25, 30%, because you don't do nothing. All you do is drive the car. You're going to make 25 to 30%. Okay. If you don't do nothing. However, if you drive the truck and trailer and you do everything, and the car goes, man, you're saving me a lot of money. You do everything. I'm going to give you 40, 50%. So once again, $10,000 to win, $3,500, right? Now, okay, let's say, well, I can't make it on that. You know, it's hard. I'm winning everything. A lot of people say, well, don't you get a base salary? The World of Outlaw late models, nobody gets a base salary. They race off of percentages only. But we don't win all the time. We're going to go to 5th spot, right? So we know that if you run 5th at a World of Outlaw late model race, you're going to get about, you're going to be lucky if you make $750, right? So we're going to get rainouts. So we're going to go 48 nights, 48 nights, World of Outlaw late model racing times $750 because you run 5th. That's what you made for the whole year. That's a shocking blow. So if you run 48 races in the big time and you run 5th, you're going to get about $750. Pays 10 grand to win, drops so quick it's unreal. 10 grand to win, way down. So if you run 5th, okay, we're going to give you $750 times, you're going to get $36,000 a year. Now, I've done my due diligence. One of my dear friends that knows it all says, Herman, if you make $160,000 a year as a driver, you've robbed the kitty. So that's a look inside the World of Outlaw late models. This is why we got to have sponsors. You cannot race without sugar daddies. Sugar daddies are people that have businesses like Hoker Trucking, Allgaier down there in El Campo, Texas. We need people that know how to make a living so we can do what we want to do. This is a disease. This is not real life. Okay? On the Joey Logano, Kenny conversation, Joey Logano said this is fake. And he's right. This is not how you really make a living. Let's take Nick Hoffman. Nick Hoffman makes a real living. He builds race cars. That's called a real living. When we race this, I mean, there's some guys that are going to make it, but for the most part, you're not going to see Jack Hewitt retiring in the Bahamas, okay? You're not going to see these guys, oh, I got my 401k. They ain't none of that. This is a vagabond type racing. Dirt racing is a vagabond type racing. You need sponsors. You need wealthy people, okay? Now, let me break down a little something else for you about the World of Outlaws. If you sign up for the Platinum and you go, hey, I'm going to run all the World of Outlaw races, which is fantastic, you get a check for $2,500 every month. Here's the big thing. Here's the big thing you need to remember. Over 90% of the races, if you are the driver and you finish 5th, you're going to make about $2,500. And then you get 40% of that. That's where we come up with that $750. Okay. But the driver will get about $750. So if you run the World of Outlaw late models, there's no base salaries. However, if you sign up for the Platinum, the World of Outlaw, they give you 4 free pit passes and a $2,500 a month. So that's a big deal. That goes a long way. All right. That's the World of Outlaw late models. Let's go to, now what are your questions? What are your bullshit questions? Oh, well, no, stop. Hermaner's getting upset because you're going to tell me something that I already know because I pay for all this, okay? And I know everybody. You know, there's an old saying, be careful what you see on TV. It's not as pretty as it looks, right? Oh, I want to be a crew member. We'll go be a crew member. You'll be selling your tools right away and moving back to your home. I see it all the time. This stuff is fun from afar, okay? Not everybody Not everybody's a Herminator. I work my ass off in here, make these videos, and it's a lot of fun, but I like to educate people. Okay, now we've done the World of Outlaw late models. I have de-bullshit that for you. You're going to maybe make $36,000 a year. If you have the year of your life, you're going to make about $160,000. Boy, that's a really good year. Okay. Of course, you got bills. All of you tell me that, oh my God, me and my husband, me and my wife, we got to make $150,000 a year. We live in this little subdivision home, and if we don't make $150,000 a year, we can't survive. Well, think about a race car guy. He's got to have disability insurance. He's on the road spending gas. So there's no money to be made in racing. It's a vagabond life. And there, I said it, okay? Because I know. I don't mean to be such smart ass. I just get mad when people think they know and they're going to tell me. They don't know. All right. World of Outlaw sprint cars. Woo! All right. Mind you, these motors in the World of Outlaw late models are 60 to 70 grand a pop. All right. These drivers drive for 50%, and they deserve more than that because they cheat death. World of Outlaw sprint car guys, they get 5 free pit passes, and they get $500 per night for the platinum. So the World of Outlaw sprint car guys with the wings, when they show up, they get $500. Thank you for coming. You signed up. Kind of like this is union. You're coming to every race. You're part of the union. You show up at every race. You get $500. You get 5 free pit passes. Have you ever bought one pit pass? They're $50. So, that's a big deal. That's $250 a night. And then, so it's about $750, right? So you get to $500 and you get $250 worth of pit pass. So the World of Outlaw sprint cars give you $750. That'll help you get up and down the road. Now, mind you, we just blew a motor up because the track's hooked up. We got the wing at full tilt, and we're pulling the guts out of this motor, and we just spent 70 grand on this motor to try to win Knoxville. Thank God we have wealthy car owners. So the World of Outlaw late models, sprint cars, they're kind of the same, but you just have to look at the vagabond lifestyle, right? How they go about it. Okay, now there's a theory that I want to do that. Okay, and if I had this money, well, listen, none of us got any money. Once again, it's my sponsors. Without these sponsors, I don't race. Because I'll be honest with you, I have grandbabies, I have daughters. I mean, these sponsors, add them all up, right? By God, we're de-bullshitting things here, right? Without these people, we don't race. Now, I know there's going to be some locals going, well, I'll spend all my own money. Well, you're a dumbass. I did that when I was a kid. I spent my own money when I was a kid. And I went down to people's subdivisions and stole their soda bottles, take them on my bicycle, rode up. But I'm 60 now. I don't spend my family money anymore. I'm mad because I went through all that. I went and got, when they used to balance tires with little lead weights, I went up to Child's Tire up in O'Fallon. I grabbed the tire weights. I melted them down. That was my lead. You don't know what broke is. You think you do. You think you know. Okay. Now we're going to go to NASCAR. And in the end, stay tuned. I'm going to tell you where I made my money. Oh boy. Okay. So right here, if you run in the Xfinity series, you're going to make anywhere between $250,000 to $400,000 a year. Not very much, because remember, you're an independent contractor. Out of that $250,000 to $400,000 that you make, you got to show that team that you have your own disability, workman's comp, because you're going to get paid all your money. It's going to be up to you to take out your own taxes and buy your own insurance. These race teams, these Xfinity teams, they do nothing for you. All you get to do is drive the car. They're going to give you a gross check, and you end up making it net and paying, all your Social Security. You do all that yourself. You have your CPA, your accountant, do all that. So Kenny Wallace Racing Incorporated, I get a check and, I got to do it all, right? So I got to have a CPA accountant, got to have my disability, my workman's comp, pay my taxes. So anyway, 250,000 to 400,000, you're living a dream. You're hoping to make it to the Cup Series. All right, here we go. We're going to skip the trucks because I don't know too much about them. We're going to go right to the Cup Series. In the Cup Series, now this is where you make a living. You're going to make anywhere between $750,000 up to $8 million. Okay, now I do know 3 drivers that make $7 or $8 million. So Chase Elliott makes about $7 million. We know that Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch make about $8 million. So let's go with Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott makes $7 million a year. Okay, that's what he's going to make. That is a base salary. They're going to pay you every quarter, every month. Excuse me. You're going to get a check, $7 million. What is he going to get? About $800,000 a month. You do the math. So hopefully, I broke down and de-bullshit a lot. The world of outlaw late models was something that I really wanted to get into because although we love it, I love it, but some people just don't get it, okay? It is a vagabond lifestyle. Those guys are in those toter homes. Yes, they're $1 million, $2 million, but those guys smell like ass. They're guys all piled in that damn thing. I've seen them like, get me out of here. After 2 days, it's like, ugh, they use this. Oh, it's nasty. So, okay, you think it's awesome. We'll go do it. And you won't do it because nobody hardly does do it. They get on the road for about 3 days in the middle of the summer and like, oh man, this was a blast, but I'm going back home. So, I think I've told you everything except where did I make all my money? If I'm going to tell everybody the taboo subject, I guess I've got to tell you where I made my money. So I'm going to be very honest with you. So when I raced in the NASCAR Cup Series, I made very good money. I give motivational speeches. I do a lot of things, right? I'm a mover and shaker. I made good money and I got into real estate. I took that NASCAR money and I bought a lot of real estate. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what kind of real estate, but I bought real estate. And then I decided that Kim and myself wanted to move back to St. Louis. And all my real estate was in North Carolina. Now, I've told this to Michael Rigsby. Okay, I think that's Dirt on Dirt, whatever his podcast is there. This story has been told. It's not a taboo story. When we decided to move back here, I took all that money that I had in real estate and I sold it. And I sold it to a very famous race car driver. Okay? And I had already saved some money. But I took that money and I found a really good investor on the north side of Chicago. One day, if you corner me, I'll tell you who he is. But this guy's very good. He's the real deal. And I cashed out. I sold all my real estate, right? And I invested in the stock market. And guess what happened? Remember when Bill Elliott said it's all about timing and circumstances? Donald Trump became your president, and the stock market went from 19 to where it's at today. I got very lucky. Timing and circumstances, all right? That's where I made my money, not in racing.